Hi, my name is Lindsay Howard. As a child, I think that the love and security I received from my mom made it easy for me to believe. And my dad was kind of in and out of my childhood. And so he was a very loving father, but he was absent. And so I really struggled with that, and I remember striving to be enough and really just being sad. When I was about 15 or 16, I was invited to church by a friend, and it just so happened to be Jeff and Christina Henson's church, and Jeff was the youth pastor. And so I started going regularly, and Jeff and Christina both were very pivotal in my faith journey, and I went on mission trips with them in the church, and Jeff actually baptized me. When I was 18, I was a senior in high school, and I had the chance to reconnect with my dad. And it had probably been at that point 3 years since I had seen him last. And so, yeah, I was going to see him, and at that point, all through his life, he had really struggled with depression, and he was really in the throes of that when I was catching up with him. And so, unexpectedly, about 3 months later, he took his life. And sorry. I think that he just couldn't, deal with it. I couldn't deal with the depression anymore, and so I was heartbroken, and I really initially I clinged to God to get through the heartache of it. But the despair was so much, and eventually I began to spiral downward and into one of the darkest times of my life. And between losing him and starting college, I think questions began to surface for me about my faith. I began to question my faith, and I felt like maybe everything I had been believing about God and heaven were just a fairy tale that I had wanted to believe. So fast forward about 8 years, and I was married and a mom now, and Jeff Henson called my husband and I to share the vision of the church that he was wanting to plant in Tulsa. Michael and I were drawn to the crossing by the dream of creating an environment where anyone could walk in the doors and feel grace and acceptance. Personally, I didn't realize how much I needed that grace and acceptance until I got here. I talked a little bit about it before, but since I became a Christian, I've walked through seasons of doubt and depression. And when we came and we were part of this launch team, I was actually kind of in that place in a time when you want to have it all together, and you think you're coming and to reach these people, and I was the one actually that ended up needing to be saved. And but doubt and depression are hard things to talk about among believers. I think we feel like, isn't God supposed to give us life and freedom from all of this? But in my experience, you know, life is both. It's amazing and it's also incredibly painful at times. And at the crossing, I was able to be real for once and share my struggles, and I was met with grace, and I was met with, you know what, me too, I've been there, I know what you're going through, and what a gift I found in this community. The crossing has been my safe place, and my hope is that many others could experience this community in the same way.